Good morning, stamping friends. How is everyone doing today? What you see is what you get today. Sorry, I'm so casual here, but I just got in off my walk and I am limited in my time today. So I need to get this done even before I shower and wash my hair. So sorry about that. At least you can't smell me though. But anyway, I'm really anxious to share with you again today. I have a couple of versions of this card, so you're gonna have to stick with the video until the very end because at the end of it, I came out with round number 2. So you'll have to see because I taped this one. And then also, I just want to remind you about my Stampin' Stack coming up. So you'll see that in the video as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. And in case I haven't seen you before, my name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I'm anxious to share with you as always. Well, let's turn the camera around and get started on today's project. Before we get started with today's project, I just wanted to remind you of my Christmas Stampin' Stack class coming up. This class is going to be so fun. I really have enjoyed creating for this class, and I have my ideas ready to go. So I'm just kind of waiting for the RSVP deadline, which is October 25th, which will be next Monday. Now, in this class, you will get enough supplies to create 12 Christmas cards. However, you can surely make more. You'll have all the product for it. But as far as the kit that will be cut for you, there's enough for 12, and it's cards and envelopes. Now, in this class, you're going to get some product, and the ones that I chose are Christmas to Remember stamp set. This is really an awesome set. I think I've used this one the most for the sentiments that I've been making. And then Tidings of Christmas 6x6 designer series paper. This picture does not do it justice. It's gorgeous in real life, but it's pretty here too. And Evening Evergreen and Cherry Cobbler are the two main colors here. Then you'll also receive a full spool of Evening Evergreen ribbon, and then Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. The kit for 12 cards and envelopes, and there will be 3 cards each of the 4 designs. And then I have an optional add-on, the labels, seasonal label dies, and I discounted this quite a bit if you get the whole bundle. And Stampin' Up! Did not bundle these together at 10% off, so I did it myself. I made my own little sale here, so it's really a great deal, especially if you get the works. Now the class fees are, if you do the online version, it's $65, not counting that. And then if you want to add that on, that's $38. And then the in-person or porch pickup is $55. So just remember, you have a little less than a week to sign up for this. And I will put the links in my blog and on my Facebook pages. All right, for today's project, oh my goodness, I am obsessed with this paper. You guys, this has been so much fun to work with, and we don't even have a pet, but I do love animals, and so I keep going back to this, and I keep telling myself, Lorri, can you think of anything else besides pets? But I'm just like obsessed with it. I tried to work on another one, and I went back to what I originally wanted to do. So this is the paper I use. It's called Sweet Stockings, and you are really going to love this because even if you're not so much a pet person, there's always an opposite side that has, non-pet related. In fact, that one, look, you could even use for Halloween. All right, so we always start with our card base. This is Cherry Cobbler, and this piece is 8.5 by 5.5 inches. And also I scored in half on the long side at 4 1/4. And then just fold it in half and use your bone folder to make that nice crisp edge. All right, now we're gonna set that aside. The next part of the card is going to be some of the designer series paper, and I actually used basic white with this. So what you're going to do with this one is this is 5 1/4 by 4, and then for this one I just went 1/8 inch smaller. So let me think, it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 is the dimensions. And oh, I hate covering up all these pets, but I need a coordinating side that will go with all the prints that I'm using. So we're just going to place that right there. And then what I'm going to do is, before I put it on the front of the card, we are going to make one more layer here. The next thing you're going to need is Cherry Cobbler cardstock. This is cut to 4 1/8 by 2 3/4 inches. And then I use the stitched rectangle dies, and this is cut to, this is the die that's about 4 inches by 2 5/8. So these two will layer nice. So we are going to build on our basic white cardstock right now, and the tool I'm going to grab is called a Stamparatus. If you are not familiar with this, you're going to love this tool. This is a must-have in your stash, especially if you're doing assembly line, and at Christmas time a lot of us make a lot of cards, and so it's just easier because you don't have to line it up. Or if you stamp something and it misses, then you can have a do-over and do it again, and it'll stamp exactly in the same position where it was. The stamp set I'm going to use is Delivering Cheer, and if you follow my blog or my Facebook pages, you know I've used this one quite a bit. I love this because you really can put anything in her hands. You'll have to get creative with that. All right, so what I also like to do is put the stamp case underneath the little plate here because I like to ink it up on a level surface. Sometimes if you're going downhill, you'll get ink on the other parts where you don't want it. And I'm using Memento Black. That is the one and only ink that you should use when you are going to be coloring with blends. Now we're going to take the rectangle die that we already cut, and I made a little graph where I want this to go, and so that way I know this is going to stamp in the position where I want it. And then this is the magnet, and you can see that mine has ugly blue tape on it. It's just painter's tape, but it makes a little handle, and it's actually easier to pick up when you have a little handle on it. So that's just a little trick. All right, let's stamp this, and let's go like that. And if it's not dark enough, mine is actually pretty dark, but say the boots turned out lighter and you didn't ink it well, just ink it up again and then stamp again, and it'll go right smack in the same position. Now, if you look up here, I even put the little leggings on here, and I lined that up. And I think we are going to make gray leggings for her. And so I'll just hold it. It's such a small piece, but like I said, I sometimes put that the stamp case underneath it, and because there's two surfaces, you don't have to take this off and then put that on. So I did this in Smoky Slate, and those little leggings are gonna line up perfectly. All right, so that's it for stamping for this part. Move this out of the way. Now for stamping the next part, I'm just gonna put a base down so I don't stamp on my surface here. We are gonna grab the stamp that has kind of the wheat and flowers in it, because all I'm after is her hands. And so when you ink it up, just ink the bottom part. You're not even going to need the whole thing. And I'm going to stamp mostly off the page just to save some paper. And that's really all we need. Now we are going to be doing some fussy cutting, and I should mention that this project has quite a bit of fussy cutting. So this would be one that you would grab a Netflix movie and have all your cutting at one time done, because when we get to the pets part, that's going to take some time. So when I fussy cut, it's easier if you just keep your scissors going and then move your paper around. And you can see I'm just kind of following the lines of her arms and her hands. And I did pre-cut one, but you know what, this isn't really taking that long, so I'll keep going. Just cut all that top stuff off and kind of round the corner there, and voila, that's very simple and fast and easy. Now what I want to do is color this in, and I'm going to use the coordinating colors, which are Cherry Cobbler, and I'm going to use mostly the light Cherry Cobbler. Color her arms. And then we're going to use, actually, let me color her skirt as well, since I'm on a roll. Now we're going to come back with the dark Cherry Cobbler, and I'm just going to color the cuffs. These are going to be a little bit darker. They still coordinate, but it'll give a little bit of shading here in different colors. Then I'm just going to go over wherever I see black lines, and it'll just kind of give a little more definition to the coat or dress, whatever you want to call it. Then I'm going to make her mittens gray. Gray is kind of a nice neutral color that goes with everything. And that's actually it's Smoky Slate, and it's the same color that I used on her leggings. Now I'm going to grab all these little animals that I fussy cut previously. This is your Netflix assignment when you're watching the show. Cut all these out. And we are going to build these on our little girl here. So I think I'm going to start with the cat. And we're not going to put this on yet because this is going to go on the very top. So it looks like she's holding them, I should say. There's many pets here. All right, so let's see. We're going to start and make the cat go. What I kind of need to do is hold this up to see where you want your boundaries to be. Now, when I talk about boundaries, and I did this on my pumpkin card too, you don't want the cat to go outside these boundaries. So you just have to kind of wing it and play it by ear here and keep the cat within the boundaries of the hands, okay? So we'll start like this, and we'll kind of move this cat to the outside. Then the next one we're going to do is this cat looks like he's trying to escape. So that's exactly what we're going to do on here. Just kind of keep those hands there so you know about where the boundaries are. And then let me put some tape on the back. And some of these we're going to pop up too. We want some dimension. So we're going to put this one like he's trying to escape. And let's see, we'll go about right here and make him kind of going off the page a little bit. Like that. There's really no rhyme or reason. And the next one is we're going to put this dog underneath, and I'm going to put a dimensional under him. Let's see, I'm going to have to use my mini ones. I don't have any big ones left by me. So let's put a couple on here. And when you put the layers, you'd have to remember that you're going to be sticking some behind. So hopefully I didn't tape all that down too much. Yep, I'm going to have to lift a little bit. All right, he's coming out the top like this. Now we're going to make this, is this a corgi? I don't know my animals that well, but I think we'll just tape him normal, and let me add some adhesive just a little bit on the back, because remember we're layering, so we have to leave some of it open so we can stick things behind. And he's getting a little bit tall here. Let's lift these up and kind of stick him in the back like that. We want his face to be shown. Now we have this tiny little cat. Now this one I had to kind of work with because you can see there's a box behind it, but we don't really want that box to show too much. So again, we're going to do some lifting here and just kind of see how I'm covering up that box mostly and make the tail peek out the top of the head here. And then we have this tiny little mouse that, excuse me, I still want to put on here, but we're going to make the mouse go off the page a little bit. And I think maybe we'll put a dimensional, excuse me, behind this one. All right, and it's kind of leaning that way, so I'm going to offset it and go to the right. And like I said, it's okay to make it go off the page a little bit. So that'll bring a little more balance. You see that? How they're kind of going to the right, but this will draw our eyes, or they're going to the left. This will draw our eyes to the right. Now we just need to put on the little hands here. And I do like to put dimensionals on these. And so this is what's nice about our dimensionals is the edge. Don't ever throw your edge away, because sometimes you need just these odd little shapes, and I need long skinny ones. So you can just trim the edge of your dimensionals and it'll make the perfect size. So we got two of these, one for each arm. They're just long skinny ones. They'll go right like this. All right, now we just need to place these on here. So it is totally like she's holding all these pets. All right, now all we have to do is put adhesive on the back side, because we want to layer that on that cherry cobbler piece that we already cut. This is just going to kind of frame everything in. And then we're going to do a little bit more on the front of this. So it's getting ready and to be done. You can see I chose this paper because number one, it matches the pattern in the leggings, and then number two, it matches the sweater in the little corgi, if that's what it is. I'm sorry if that isn't a corgi. Like I said, I don't know my pets. All right, now we're going to take this and I'm just going to put a little division in here. It needs just a little separation. So this is actually our crinkled seam binding ribbon. This is in the annual catalog, and this is so easy to work with. It's very fine and thin, and it makes nice bows. There's not a right side or a wrong side, so it really doesn't matter, you know, where you place it. And I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back. This will catch nice because it's so thin, and I don't even have to put anything on top of that. And what I like to do is do one side first, and then I can see how to place that second side so that it's even, like that. Now we are going to make, oh, here we go. I do have a new pack of dimensionals. I was going to say, I'm going to have to put a lot on here if all I have is minis. We're going to put dimensionals on the back because we want this to pop up. And when I do 5 1/4 by 4 inch layers, I like to use 6 dimensionals. I put one in the middle just so it doesn't sag. You know what I mean? Sometimes it'll tend to sag on a long side that doesn't have any dimensionals on. So let's peel those off. My Halloween nails do not go very well with this card. All right, now we're going to put this on the front and we're going to add another little piece. So hold on tight and let's get rid of this mat because I don't really need that anymore. All right, now we're going to do the same with this and add this one. I think we can get by with just 4 dimensionals. Dimensionals are a funny thing. I've shown you pictures of one of my customers / team members. She likes to fill the back of hers, but that's all right. Hey, if you like lots of dimensionals, then you know it's not going anywhere, but I just put them where I need them. It just takes more time to put more on. And all right, now we are going to offset this a little bit to the left because of the one more thing I want to add, and it doesn't have to be uniform. You don't have to go in that upper corner. What I'm going to do is go pretty close to the left and then down a little bit. Do you see my layering there? It's not equal there. It's tighter here and a little more room there, but more room there. So just to change it up a little bit. Now, this just needs one little bow. And you know what? I might have to move my little mouse now that I see this. Let me take him off. You can tell I'm kind of winging it, which is not like me. Usually I like to know exactly how this card's going to come together. And then what I did was I took that crinkle seam binding and I actually made a double bow. So just wrap around 2 pieces together. And I actually used my bow maker, and everyone's asking me, do you sell those bow makers that I gave away in my retreat? Nope, you had to go to the retreat to get that. Those were one and done. All right, we're going to put this right here, and then we are going to add our little mouse, but I think this might be in the way, so we might have to put him back over there. But like I said before, this kind of draws your eye to the right. So, and because I use this dimensional already, it's not sticky, so I'm going to add one more on the back, and I think I can actually fit a large dimensional on there. That'll hold him even better. All right, so let's put him on the left now. We just kind of wing it, but I want him off a little bit. There we go. So there's our little girl holding a lot of animals. Isn't that fun? And then, oh gosh, there's so many cool sentiments you could do on the inside. I didn't finish the inside, but sending love and Christmas cheer, warming thoughts to the season, or actually one of the many that are in this one. The one I would choose out of here is friends like you make the season special, because those are all her friends. So I hope you enjoyed this little pet card, and if you have any questions, just give me a holler. And again, I really hope that you'll sign up for my Christmas Stamp-a-Stack, because I promise you won't be disappointed. If you like my style of stamping, I think you'll like the projects that I came up with. So thank you again, and we will see you. Remember, I do these Facebook Lives on Tuesday and Friday mornings. And also, if you see any products that you like, I do have a host code, and if your order is over $35 plus you remember to use the host code, I will send you the 3 projects we make each month for Creative You. You will get, let's see, if you order between now and November 10th, you will receive the 3 projects that we make in our November Creative You. I will send the kits in the mail, and you can make 3 of your cards for free. And if you don't have the stamp sets that I use in the class, then you can feel free to use your own, or maybe you want to order those next round. But I really enjoy thanking my customers in that way by sending them free projects and the free PDF that helps you along to put those together. So thank you so much. I would appreciate that if you order from my Stampin' Up! Online store, and I will put the link in the description. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, stamping friends, here's part 2. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I kept staring at my card, and even though I liked it, it just looked too busy for me. The pets were getting lost in the paper, even though it coordinates and stuff. So I redid my card, if you can believe it. So here's my new card. Don't you think that looks better? It draws more attention to the pets. And then I stuck the little Mary, which came from the stamp set Christmas to Remember, which is all the more reason to sign up for my Stamp-a-Stack, because that little Mary there is so cute, and it just needed a little something on the front. So I definitely like version number 2, but I am not going to remake this card because it's all ready to go. So I just wanted to show you another version. Maybe you like the busier, more color, but I prefer simpler and cleaner looking, so I prefer this one. But you tell me which one you like better. All right, sorry about the round 2 here, but I just had to share. And you know, that just shows that this is what makes the world go round. Everybody likes different styles, and so it just goes to show that, you know, even if you're done with the card, you can still easily change it up. In fact, what I did was I didn't even take that pattern paper off. I just cut the white the same size, and I lifted this up and slid it underneath, glued it on top of it, and voila, there it is. All right, I just had to share that little tidbit at the end. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.